Hello, Family Camp. I'm so glad to be here with you all. I am Pastor Allison. I'm one of the pastors at East Dallas Christian Church in Dallas, Texas. And I'm so glad to be here with you. I know these are strange times, but what a wonderful opportunity for us all to be able to join together in our various homes to learn and talk about Jesus together. I'm sitting here outside of my home this morning so that we can talk about the road to Emmaus and what happens there. And when I was thinking about it, one of the first things I pondered, especially with how weird our world is right now, is what happens when things don't go like we expect them to. Because I know over the last few months there have been lots of things that we have probably wanted to do. Maybe we wanted to go back to school with our friends, or take a vacation somewhere else, or even just maybe go out to eat at a restaurant. There have been lots of things that we have been looking forward to. I know personally, I had a baby like a week before all of this happened and everything got shut down. So I had been really excited and really looking forward to introducing my new baby to all of my friends and family, taking her to my church so that everyone at my church could meet her and love on her and just be so excited together. But then all of this stuff happened. All of the sickness and the germs came, and so everyone decided to stay home and stay safe. And so what I had hoped to do, what I had envisioned, what I dreamed about doing with my new baby, I couldn't do anymore. The first 4 months of her life has looked really, really different than her older sister, than her 3-year-old older sister. And that made me kind of sad, kind of disappointed, like I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. I wonder if any of you have felt that way. You know, I think about maybe if we had had like a family trip planned, maybe if we had been planning on going to Disney this summer and the excitement about that and the hope and the joy and thinking about riding the rides or maybe getting to meet a princess. I know in my house, Elsa and Anna are a really big deal. And I know that if we got the chance to meet them, it would just be so exciting. But then if we couldn't go, that would be really sad, wouldn't it? It'd be really confusing of why we couldn't do that. I know that when we are told that maybe we could do something and then we can't, it's so hard. I know another example is a couple of weeks ago, we told my 3-year-old that we were going to get to go to a pool. Like, we haven't been to a real pool in a year because it's not really warm enough in the winter to go to the pool. So we told her, we are going to the pool. It's going to be great. I had packed up a bag with all our swimsuits. She had packed a bag with all of her toys and things that she wanted to take to the pool. And then we couldn't go. The pool's chemicals had gotten off, and so it wasn't safe to swim in anymore. So then I had to tell her that we couldn't go to the pool anymore. And she got really sad and cried. And she went off into her room and she told me that she just wanted to be sad for a little bit. And I said, I know. It's okay to be sad for a little bit. It happens sometimes. Things don't always go the way that we think they're going to go. It's really hard when that happens. It's hard to understand and to wrap our heads around it. Things not going the way we want them to go. I thought to help us explore this idea, we'd read a book together. The Most Magnificent Thing. This book is by Ashley Spires. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole entire world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things, and he unmakes things. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. She knows just how it will work. She knows just how it will look. All she has to do is make it, and she makes things all the time easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. Next, they gather together their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way, and they get to work. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around to one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It's all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square. She makes it round. She gives it legs. She adds antenna. She makes it fuzzy. She makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells like stinky cheese. But none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. She gets mad. The angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes pieces into shapes. She jams parts together. She pummels the little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work, and her brain is too full of not right things. If only the thing would just work. Crunch! The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up her brain, and she explodes. This is not her finest moment. I am no good at this. I quit. Her assistant suggests a walk. It's not much help at first, but before long, she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first thing that she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again, and then she notices something surprising. There are some of the parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. They are all sorts of parts that she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. This is the perfect thing to ward off bears. This will stop that leak. This one's all wet. The afternoon fades into evening. Finally, she finishes. She alerts her assistant. The pair take a good long look and lean a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. in the book, she had a hard time, didn't she? That little girl had a dream and a vision, an idea, a path, a trajectory, the way the world was gonna go, way her invention, her most magnificent thing was gonna come to life from her vision to reality. But it didn't work, right? She kept building things and they weren't the right thing. She tried again and it wasn't the right thing. Things fell apart, things came together. It was just so hard to figure out how to make this most magnificent thing come to be in real life. And so she got sad, right? She had a hard time. She got mad, actually. She had a really hard time. And then she started to think it through as she was on her walk. She kind of saw, she was like, oh, maybe this piece can be used for this. Maybe that piece can be used for that. And she took it all together and she changed her vision and she made a scooter, right? For her and her assistant, a most magnificent thing. Maybe not the thing she thought of originally, but a great, magnificent thing. That makes me think about our story from the Bible, about the walk to Emmaus. Because where we are in the Bible is the disciples and Jesus have been going along together. They've been journeying, they've been eating, they've been talking, they've been learning, doing all of this stuff. Jesus has been telling parables, they've been going on boats together, doing all this really cool stuff together. And then we get to really the saddest part of the Bible, when Jesus dies. And we know today that that's actually a really exciting period, a really hopeful period, because we know that Jesus comes back. But the disciples weren't so sure. Their most magnificent thing of Jesus, of the stories, traveling with their best friend, was gone. It had all fallen apart. They were alone. I bet some of them were mad, like in our story. And I bet some of them were sad because Jesus was gone. I bet some were confused and didn't know what to do next. It was a really, really hard time as they're just sitting there uncertain about what they should do next. There's no more most magnificent thing for the disciples. And that's where we are today in our scripture. The story is where the disciples are confused and alone and sad. And two of them are walking down the road together when a third person joins them. And the third person asks them questions. Why are you guys sad? What are you doing? What's going on? And the disciples are like, are you crazy? Do you not know what just happened in Jerusalem? Come on. Everyone has been talking about it. And they continue on. They ultimately go and have a meal together. And when they're there, their eyes are opened. The sadness, the confusion, the anger, the mad all goes away because they realize it's Jesus. Jesus is right there with them. And that is amazing. Jesus is there. The most magnificent thing has come back. They tried so hard on all of that, and then they had the sad, the mad, the angry, uncertainty what to do. And then the most magnificent thing, Jesus is back. And he's back for a little bit, not forever. But we know that even when Jesus is gone, Jesus is in our hearts. A fancy way to say that is Jesus abides in us. Jesus is with us always. As I sit here outside, I know Jesus is here with me. As you all sit in your homes, Jesus is there with you. Jesus is with us in our cars when we go back to school, if mom or dad or grandma or grandpa go back to work. Jesus abides in us. The most magnificent thing is that Jesus is with us always, no matter what. We may have times when we are sad, disappointed, confused, angry, any sort of thing. But all we have to do is take a breath, or maybe go for a walk, like our friend in the story, and we can realize that even if it feels bad right now, it's not bad forever. because Jesus abides in us. Jesus is with us no matter where we go. And Jesus can comfort us and help us when things are hard, when things are frustrating, when they're scary, when they're not working right. Jesus can help us with that no matter what, every time, every day. And it doesn't mean that those things that are hard or scary or difficult or sad just disappear in a poof of magic. They may still be there, but they can be a little less hard, a little less scary, a little less confusing, because we have Jesus to help us, to carry us through, to show us the way, to build us up, to make us feel safe and loved, to show us the magnificent things in life, no matter where we are. My friends, thank you so much for coming to camp with me today. I am very sad, like many of you, that we can't join together at our various camps across the Southwest region, but I am loving that we get to do this together. As you go throughout your week, I really hope that you take time to look around you and see where you feel Jesus in your lives. Take note of it. Maybe write it in a journal or share it with your family, because we know that Jesus abides in us. Let us pray. Jesus, we give thanks for your presence with us always. We know that the world can be scary, difficult, fun, crazy, weird, exciting, adventurous, all sorts of things. And no matter what it is, you are with us. You abide with us. Thank you so much. Amen.